What if the real reason you are not where you want to be has nothing to do with talent? Think about that. You have tried hard before. You have started with fire. You have made plans. You have told yourself this time would be different. But then the days pass. The energy fades. The work gets heavy. And slowly, you step back. You tell yourself you will come back tomorrow. You tell yourself you have done enough for today. You tell yourself it is okay to rest. But deep down, you know the truth. You are not resting. You are retreating. And that quiet retreat is costing you everything. Picture a moment you know too well. You're at your desk, or in the gym, or working on a project that matters. Your mind is tired, your body feels heavy. Everyone else has packed up, everyone else has walked out, and you face a simple choice. Push through the friction, or shut it down. Most people choose the door. They choose comfort. They choose the easy exit. They promise themselves they will try harder tomorrow, but tomorrow brings the same weight. The cycle repeats. You start strong. You fade early. You wonder why progress never sticks. You blame your schedule. You blame your environment. You never look at the pattern. You never ask the hard question. Why do you always leave before the breakthrough arrives? Here is what no one tells you. The human brain is designed to protect you from discomfort. It is wired to conserve energy. It seeks safety above all else. So when the work gets hard, your mind sends a signal. Stop. It is enough. Go home. This feels logical. It feels responsible. But it is a trap. It is the oldest trap in human history. It keeps capable people stuck in average lives for decades. You are not failing because you lack skill. You are failing because you have been trained to equate comfort with completion. You have been taught to quit at the first sign of resistance. You celebrate showing up. You ignore what happens after you show up. This is the hidden mistake most never catch. You think effort ends when it feels heavy, but effort actually begins there. Let me be clear. This is not about pushing yourself until you break. This is not about ignoring your limits. This is about recognizing the exact moment your mind tries to pull you out of the game. The moment right before the shift happens. The moment right before clarity arrives. Champions know this moment well. They do not run from it. They stay, not for an audience, not for praise, for themselves. They stay because they understand a quiet law of life. Real progress only begins when everyone else has left the room. You have spent years chasing quick fixes. You have followed motivation that fades by noon. You wonder why discipline feels so unnatural. The answer is simple. You measure success by how fast you arrive. You never measure it by how late you stay. This small blind spot creates a massive gap in your results. But if you stay with this message until the final word, you will discover the exact mental switch that turns quiet persistence into unstoppable results. You will learn how to spot the hidden exit doors in your own habits. You will gain a daily practice that builds real momentum without burning you out. And you will finally understand why the people you admire seem so grounded. It is not luck. It is a choice they make when the noise fades. Do not click away. Do not tell yourself you already know this. The truth you are avoiding is the exact reason your goals stay out of reach. Stay with me. Pay attention. Let this sink in. What comes next will ask you to question habits you have protected for years. It will ask you to stand in the quiet a little longer. If you are ready to stop settling for almost, then listen closely. The secret is simpler than you think, and it begins right now. You have been sold a story. A quiet, dangerous story. It whispers that success should feel good, that progress should be fast, that if you are doing it right, you will see results now. This story is everywhere, in the posts you scroll, in the voices you follow, in the promises you believe. It tells you that champions are born different, that they have some secret gift you do not. So when your path feels slow, you doubt yourself. When the work feels heavy, you question your worth. You think something is wrong with you, but nothing is wrong with you. You have just been trained to expect the wrong thing. Real growth does not arrive with applause. It arrives in silence. It arrives when you keep going, even though no one is watching, even though no one is clapping, even though you cannot see the finish line. This is the pattern most people miss. They wait for motivation. They wait for certainty. They wait for permission. But waiting is the trap. Waiting is how years disappear. Successful people do not wait. They move. They act. They stay. Not because they feel like it, because they know the truth. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. Your mind will fight this. It will tell you to wait for the perfect moment. It will tell you to rest just a little longer. It will tell you that one day off will not matter, but one day off becomes 1 week. 1 week becomes 1 month. and slowly your dream fades into a memory. This is not laziness. This is biology. Your brain seeks comfort. It avoids friction. It protects you from the unknown. But in the modern world, this protection becomes a prison. The very instinct that once kept you safe now keeps you stuck. Here is the warning you need to hear. You do not fail because you are weak. You fail because you believe the story. The story that says success is easy. The story that says you should feel ready. The story that says if it hurts, you are doing it wrong. Champions know better. They know that friction is the signal, not the stop sign. They know that doubt is part of the path, not proof they are lost. They do not wait to feel confident. They act, and confidence follows. Ask yourself now, what story are you still believing? What lie are you using to justify your exit? The truth is simple. You are not behind. You are just listening to the wrong voice, the one that fears discomfort, the one that mistakes ease for progress. Let that voice speak. Then choose differently. Choose to stay. Choose to move. Choose to trust the process even when you cannot see the outcome. This is where your real life begins, not when it gets easy, but when you decide to continue anyway. There is a line you cross every single day. You do not see it, you do not hear it, but you feel it. It shows up as a tightness in your chest, a heaviness in your mind, a quiet voice that says, that is enough for today. This is the invisible line. The moment your comfort ends and your growth begins, most people never notice it. They feel the resistance and they turn back. They think it is a signal to stop. But it is not. It is a signal to lean in. Think about the last time you faced this line. Maybe you were working on a goal. Maybe you were pushing through a workout. Maybe you were trying to finish something that mattered. Your energy dipped, your focus blurred, and a thought slipped in. I will do it later. You believed that thought. You walked away, but later never came because later is a promise your future self cannot keep. This is the pattern. This is how potential fades, not with a crash, with a whisper. Your mind is not your enemy. It is trying to protect you. It sees discomfort and it sounds an alarm. It wants you safe. It wants you steady. But in the pursuit of something greater, safety becomes the enemy. The very instinct that once kept you alive now keeps you small. Successful people feel the same resistance, the same doubt, the same pull to stop. The difference is simple. They recognize the line and they choose to cross it. Not every time, but enough times. Here's what happens on the other side. Clarity, momentum. A quiet strength you cannot fake. The first few steps feel hard, then something shifts. Your mind settles. Your purpose sharpens. You remember why you started. This is not magic. This is biology. When you push past the initial friction, your brain releases focus. It rewards persistence. But you only get this reward if you stay. If you leave early, you train your brain to quit. You teach yourself that discomfort means stop. And slowly, your world shrinks to fit your comfort zone. Ask yourself now, how many times have you turned back at the line? How many breakthroughs did you miss because you listened to the whisper instead of the call? You do not need more motivation. You do not need a perfect plan. You need to recognize the line, and the next time you feel it, do one thing. Stay, just a little longer. That is where your real life waits, not on the easy side. On the other side of the line you have been avoiding. There is a switch inside you, a quiet flip that changes everything. Most people never find it. They spend their lives asking the wrong question. How little can I do and still get by? Champions ask a different question. How much can I give even when it costs me? This is not about working harder. This is about thinking differently. It is a shift in identity, not effort. Your mind loves efficiency. It wants to save energy. So it whispers, do the minimum, stay safe, avoid risk. This feels smart. It feels logical. But it is a slow death for your potential. You do not wake up one day and fail. You drift there, one small compromise at a time, one early exit, one postponed decision, one excuse that sounded reasonable. This is how good people stay stuck. Not because they lack talent, because they never flipped the switch. Successful people feel the same pull to quit, the same fatigue, the same doubt, but they have trained a different reflex. When the voice says stop, they hear begin. When the path gets foggy, they take one more step, not because they are fearless, because they understand a simple truth. Momentum is built in the moments you want to leave. Every time you stay, you cast a vote for the person you are becoming. Every time you go, you vote for the person you have always been. Here is the mistake you keep making. You wait to feel like a champion before you act like one. You think confidence comes first, then action, then results. But the order is reversed. Action comes first, then evidence, then belief. You do not think your way into a new life. You act your way into a new mind. This is the switch, not a feeling, a decision, a quiet promise you make when no one is watching. Ask yourself now, what would change if today you chose to give just a little more? Not everything, just a little. One extra minute, one more attempt, one honest effort when it would be easier to walk away. This is not about perfection. This is about pattern. Small choices repeated become your identity, and your identity becomes your life. The person you are meant to be is not waiting for you to feel ready. They are waiting for you to choose, to flip the switch, to stay when leaving feels easier. This is where your power lives. Not in grand gestures, in quiet decisions. The next time resistance rises, do not fight it. Thank it. It is the signal, the line, the moment everything can change. All you have to do is choose differently, just once. Then again, then again. That is how ordinary becomes extraordinary. That is how you become the last one to leave. Small choices do not feel powerful in the moment. One extra minute, one more rep, one more call. It seems small, it feels invisible, but this is where your future is built, not in the big moments everyone sees, in the quiet choices no one notices. This is the compound effect, and it works for you or against you every single day. Your brain cannot see the long game. It wants results now, so when you stay a little longer, it whispers, "This does not matter. No one is watching. Why bother?" But you are not doing it for them. You are doing it for you, for the person you are becoming. Every time you choose to stay, you plant a seed. You cannot see it grow today, but over time, those seeds become a forest. Strong, deep, unshakable. Here is the warning. Every time you leave early, you do more than stop working. You teach your mind that quitting is acceptable. You train yourself to value comfort over growth. And slowly, your potential shrinks to fit your habits. This is not punishment. This is cause and effect. You are always building something with your choices. The question is, what are you building? Successful people understand this math. They do not rely on motivation. They rely on momentum. They know that one day of effort means nothing. But 100 days of staying a little longer changes everything. They do not chase big wins. They collect small ones, day after day, choice after choice, and one morning they wake up and realize the gap is gone. They are no longer chasing. They are leading. Ask yourself now, what are your small choices creating? Are you building a life of regret or a legacy of resilience? You do not need to change everything today. You just need to stay a little longer, just once, then do it again. That is how ordinary effort becomes extraordinary results. That is how you outgrow your old self. Your future is not a mystery. It is a mirror. It reflects the choices you make when no one is watching. So the next time you feel the pull to leave, remember this. The extra minute is not just time. It is a vote, a deposit, a promise. Stay. Not for applause, not for proof. For the person you are becoming. That is where champions are made. Not in the spotlight, in the silence, in the space between enough and one more. That space is your power. Step into it. Again and again. Watch what grows. There is a cost to staying. No one claps for discipline. No one posts about the quiet hours. No one celebrates the extra mile you walk when the world is asleep. This is the loneliness of growth, and most people are not ready for it. They want the result without the isolation. They want the reward without the silence. But you cannot have one without the other. Your mind craves connection. It wants approval. So when you choose to stay while others leave, a quiet fear rises. Am I doing this wrong? Why does this feel so hard? What if I am wasting my time? This is not doubt about your goal. This is fear of being different, of standing alone, of walking a path no one else understands. But here's the truth. Every person you admire has felt this loneliness. They did not avoid it. They accepted it. They knew that being misunderstood now was the price of being unstoppable later. This is the pattern you overlook. You wait for permission. You wait for someone to validate your effort. You wait for a sign that you are on the right track. But the sign is the loneliness itself. If your path feels easy, if your choices feel popular, if your effort feels seen, you are probably not pushing far enough. Real growth happens in the unseen, in the space between who you were and who you are becoming. No audience, no applause, just you and your promise. Here is the warning. If you cannot stand the quiet, you will never reach the breakthrough. The pain of effort is temporary. The pain of regret is permanent. One day, you will look back. You will remember the moments you chose comfort over courage, and you will feel a weight no success can lift. Do not let that be your story. Ask yourself now, are you willing to be alone for a while? To do the work no one sees? To trust the process when no one cheers? This is where average ends. This is where legacy begins. Not with a crowd, with a choice. A quiet, firm decision to stay when leaving feels easier. You do not need everyone to understand. You just need to understand. Your future self is watching, not to judge, to thank you for every extra minute, for every hard choice, for every time you stayed when your mind begged you to go. This is how you build a life that matters, not in the noise, in the silence, not for them, for you. Keep going. The loneliness is not a punishment. It is a filter. It separates those who want it from those who are willing to earn it. Which one are you? The answer is in your next choice. This is not about motivation. This is about decision. Motivation fades. It comes and goes like the weather. But a decision is a line in the sand. It is a promise you make to yourself when no one is watching, and it changes everything. You have waited long enough. You have told yourself you will start when you feel ready, when the time is right, when the fear goes away. But that day never comes, because readiness is a myth. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in spite of it. Your mind will always find a reason to wait. It will always offer a softer path, but soft paths do not lead to strong lives. Here is what is happening inside you right now. A quiet battle. One part of you wants to keep dreaming, to keep planning, to keep hoping. Another part of you is tired of waiting, tired of almost, tired of watching others move while you stay still. Listen to that part. That is your truth speaking, not your fear, not your doubt. Your truth. Successful people are not braver than you. They are not smarter. They are not luckier. They simply decided. One day, they chose to stop negotiating with their excuses. They stopped asking, what if it fails? And started asking, what if it works? That shift changed their trajectory. Not overnight, but forever. Ask yourself now, what are you protecting by waiting? Comfort, safety, the illusion of control? You cannot keep your old life and gain a new one. One must go for the other to arrive. This is the law, not punishment, not cruelty, clarity. Time is moving. Your goals are not getting closer by wishing. Every day you delay is a day you train your mind to accept less. Every excuse you keep is a brick in the wall between you and your potential. But it does not have to be this way, not today. The version of you that wins is counting on the version of you right now. They are waiting. Not for perfect conditions, not for permission, for a decision, a quiet, firm, unshakable choice to begin, to stay, to fight for what matters when it gets hard. This is your moment, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now, while these words are still fresh, while your heart is still open, while the truth is still loud enough to hear, what will you stay for today? What will you fight for when the noise fades? The answer is yours to write. Choose wisely, choose boldly. Choose now. The world does not need more starters. It needs finishers. People who stay when it gets hard. People who show up when it hurts. People who choose purpose over comfort again and again until the choice becomes who they are. This is the final truth, and it is simple. When everyone leaves, when the noise fades, when it is just you and your purpose, what will you do? Will you listen to the voice that says, enough? Or will you hear the deeper call that says, one more? This moment right here is where your life is decided, not in the grand plans, not in the perfect conditions, in the quiet choice to stay. You have heard the warning, you have felt the pull, you know the pattern, now you face the invitation, not to try harder, to choose differently, to be the last one to leave, not for show, not for praise, not for proof, for you, for the person you promised yourself you would become, for the life you know you deserve. Here's what happens when you accept this. You stop chasing motivation. You start building identity. You stop waiting for permission. You start earning evidence. You stop fearing the quiet. You start trusting the process. And slowly, without fanfare, you become someone different, someone stronger, someone who does not quit when it counts. This is not a promise of ease. It is a promise of meaning. The path will still be hard. The days will still be long. The doubt will still whisper. But you will have something most people never find, a quiet certainty, a deep knowing that you are building something real, something that cannot be taken away, something that lasts. Ask yourself one last time, what are you willing to stay for? What are you willing to fight for when no one is watching? The answer is not in your words. It is in your next choice, the next time you feel the pull to leave, the next time comfort calls your name, the next time your mind offers an excuse that sounds reasonable. Be the last one to leave. Not because you have to, because you choose to, because you understand what most never do. That greatness is not a moment. It is a habit, a pattern, a series of quiet decisions made in the space between enough and one more. That is the secret. That is how you win, not with noise, with consistency, not with luck, with loyalty to your purpose. Now, go be the last one. There is one last truth you must carry with you. Choices echo. Every time you stay, you send a signal to your future self. You tell them, I am worth the effort. I am worth the fight. I am worth the wait. But every time you leave early, you send a different message, one that whispers, not today, not enough, not yet. Over time, these messages become your story, and your story becomes your life. You cannot outperform your self-image. If you see yourself as someone who quits when it gets hard, you will, not because you lack ability, because you lack evidence. Evidence that you can stay, evidence that you can push through, evidence that you are the kind of person who finishes. This is why small choices matter so much. They are not just actions, they are proof. Proof that you are changing, proof that you are growing, proof that you are becoming. Here is what most people never realize. Regret does not come from trying and failing. It comes from never knowing what you could have become. The pain of effort fades. The pain of what if does not. One day you will look back. You will not remember the comfort you chose. You will remember the moments you walked away, the chances you did not take, the person you did not become. Do not let that be your ending. You have everything you need right now. Not more time. Not more talent, not more permission, just the willingness to stay, to choose differently, to be the last one to leave, not for applause, not for validation, for the quiet pride of knowing you did not quit on yourself. This is your life, not a rehearsal, not a draft, the only one you get, and it is shaped by the choices you make in the unseen moments, when no one is watching, when no one is cheering, when it is just you and your promise. So when the pull to leave rises, remember this, you are not just choosing to stay or go. You are choosing who you become every time, without exception. Be the last one to leave, not because it is easy, because it matters, because you do. Now, go.